Hi everyone, it's James here. Welcome back to Squeeze Fan TV, and today we're going to do a rundown of some of my favourite keyboard songs in the Squeeze canon. I'm sure there are some great keyboard tracks on Cradle to the Grave and The Knowledge, but I'm going to just park those for now. So let's see what we've got. So do share your thoughts and see if you've got any crossovers with me. So it's not a top 10, it might be a top 12, something like that, and they're not in any particular order, although in the upper reaches I've maybe tried to put some of my all-time favourites up there. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so from the Cool for Cats album, I really love Jules' playing on the track Hard to Find on side 2. It has a really percussive quality to it, really edgy sounding. A bit different for Jules, you know, he had a tendency to fall back into the kind of boogie-woogie idiom, but on Hard to Find I think he does something a bit edgier than usual, so thought I would have that in there. And then on this album, I've got a couple of tracks on this actually, but the first one I'll go for is The Waiting Game on side 2, which has a very jazzy feel to it, and I think Jules does some really great, tasty playing on that one. Really beautiful stuff. Moving away from Jules now for the next pick from Play and the song Letting Go, which I've already featured as a song of the day, with some great organ playing by Steve Naive. He has this really tearful organ sound that he uses. I think it's an organ that he used on Elvis Costello's records as well. I've heard it popping up a few times on Costello's albums over the years, but Letting Go by Steve Naive is a great track. Shifting to Paul Carrack, I couldn't really find anything that jumped out at me from East Side Story keyboard-wise. I mean, Paul does some great stuff on that album. I love his Hammond organ playing on Inquintessence. Actually, he's not on Inquintessence, is he? Strike that. You know, Paul does some great stuff, but it's on this album, I think, that he really made a massive contribution to the Squeeze keyboard repertoire. And the song I'll pick from this is It's Over, where he does this fantastic ABBA-style piano. And just a really great example of how versatile and talented Paul could be. Always great live. When I saw Paul play live with Squeeze, he always raised the roof. Absolutely brilliant musician. The next one, we're going to go back to Babylon and On, and again from side 2, the song Cigarette of a Single Man, which is a very sprightly, upbeat, lovely pop tune, and I think there's a piano solo on there from Jules. Pretty sure there is. Yes, there is. There's definitely a piano solo on Cigarette of a Single Man. Lovely song, and Jules does some great playing on it. Couldn't leave this one out. Obviously, there's some great keyboard playing on Argy Bargy, some of which was by Glenn Tilbrook, apparently, and will we ever get to the bottom of which songs had keyboards played by Glenn and by Jules? But occasionally, you know, something pops out of the mix and you think, yeah, that is definitely Jules. And of course, we all know the piano solo, the short piano solo that he takes on Pulling Muscles is one of his defining moments, really, in Squeeze. Often reproduced live with just a wonderful gut bucket feeling, and always loved that one. Short, sweet, succinct, but brilliant. From the Frank album, I think possibly Jules' finest moment in the band as a keyboard player. I've got a few tracks from this one. Melody Motel, which has him playing a Bo Diddley figure all the way through it, and then it breaks out into some incredible soloing, and he does a great job on that. I suppose a bit of a country feel, really, but just absolutely brilliant. Slaughtered, Gutted and Heartbroken, where he adopts the role of a kind of late bar stool pianist playing through a smoky haze. Just, you know, really nails that R&B kind of sound. And he does do a solo on Is It Too Late, which is possibly my least favourite song on the album. Not sure about that. Great solo. But then, of course, his track Dr. Jazz has some fantastic New Orleans style pianism, and that really made for a great farewell for Jules. One more song for that album still to come, but I've got that at my number 1, so we'll leave that for a moment. Wanted to highlight as well Jules' great piano work, piano solo really, on Last Time Forever from Cozy Friend Tutti Frutti, which is very spectacular towards the back end. But I think this is a really great album for Jules. Some great keyboard stuff on I Learned How to Pray as well. He's quite prominent on that. And then quick mention of Don Snow, our friend John Savannah, who I think does some tremendous keyboard stuff on this record, on Sweets from a Stranger. He brought more of a classical feel to the Squeeze keyboards. He was less influenced, I think, by the blues and boogie woogie, and I think he'd had some music lessons, piano lessons growing up, and you can tell he's got a really nice classical approach to the piano. But I just love what he does on His House, Her Home, which starts with this nice little sort of piano piece, and then it has this lovely darting solo in the middle of it, which is just wonderfully done. It really reminds me of something that Paul McCartney might have done. You know, think of a song like Martha My Dear from the White Album. It has that kind of agility to it. So Don Snow, John Savannah. And for my number one pick, my favourite ever piano keyboard moment on a Squeeze record has got to be Peyton Place from Frank, where apparently Jules just came in and just stunned everybody. Nobody quite knew what he was going to do. He just came in and just played this extraordinary solo at the end. Quite a difficult song to play over, you know, some difficult changes, harmonic changes, but he just raised the roof on that. And I think, you know, Jules was really at the top of his game, I think, as a piano player in the second half of the 80s. You know, he played on, he did that great solo on the album Soul Mining by The. And yeah, I mean, he was just obviously just an incredible musician. So have that number one, Peyton Place. So there's my selection. It'd be great to hear some ideas from you as to great keyboard sounds, songs, tunes from the Squeeze repertoire, and do let me know actually if there's anything that jumps out at you from Cradle to the Grave, or the knowledge. I'd be glad to hear about that. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing if you have done, and if you haven't, please consider doing so. I'll see you in the next video.